Today I want to blog about a jack in the box. And the reason this thought came to me is when I returned from WEF, there were a couple of conversations in WEF around Generation X, Generation Y, whatever you call them. 50% of our population is under the age of 25 years old. I understand that the younger generation, Generation X, Y, can do 8 transactions, simultaneous transactions at a time, where my generation can do 4. I think I can do 2 or maybe 1. This generation has been born along with the internet, and therefore the knowledge has been on the tips of their fingertips because they can search it out. This generation has worked in collaboration using Facebook or MySpace or many such other collaborative tools. And therefore their group of advisors who advise them on various facets of things is fairly large and very well spread, and therefore their decision making on consumption, decision making on likes and dislikes, and decision making on where and how they buy is influenced a lot by this pattern of what I call the advisors. Now, if you look at this pattern of Generation Y, and we ask a question whether our education systems today, our organization structures of today and tomorrow are ready for them, or are we putting Jack in a box? And my point of view on this is that because the knowledge is on a surge, our education system should have progressed away from imparting knowledge to imparting what I call intellect or application of knowledge. And I do not think education institutions across the world are geared to make that happen. On one side, we have almost 56 million teachers who are less in the primary school. On the other hand, we have the quality of teaching issue. But I think there is also an issue in terms of the fact that we continue to be in the business of imparting knowledge, whereas the emphasis on intellect, intelligence, and application is going to be very critical. And that's the reason I'm saying poor little Jack is fitted into a 100-year-old educational box. When we go into the organization, and I unfortunately see the same thing happening, when these people who can do simultaneous tasks and they have wide amount of interest, they want to be engaged in an organization not in a single dimension, but in a very large multiple dimensions way. They socialize in a very different way, they collaborate in a different way, they work in a very different way. These are organization which is very large, command and control oriented, very hierarchy oriented, ready for the Jack. And I get the same answer there, is that we will force fit the Jack in the box called the organization structure we created 100 years ago, which makes collaboration different, which makes competition excel, which treats people on a relative basis, and one wins at the cost of the others. And there are so many aspects of the hierarchy, information control, the boss is always right, look up and not look within. And a lot of these we will talk about in my subsequent post. But I do find that the poor little Jack is being put into a box, even in the organization which is not geared up to him. So the thought for today is that with 50% of our people, of our talent, of our future of the world residing behind these two eyes of these young Generation X and Generation Y, shouldn't we be thinking about changing the hierarchies and the structures of our education system, and changing the hierarchies and structures of our corporate system, so that the Jack doesn't feel boxed in, but thinks out of the box.